And we are live, everyone. Apologies about that. Still working. Had a few hiccups here and there. Guys, we're live.
Hey.
All right.
Sorry about that, guys.
First time.
Yes, we have a friend, Dark. He's new to the podcast. I do hope he's new, so I hope you guys introduce. Oh, and before I forget, Green, you're muted.
I think he had to do something really quick.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. I'm always looking forward for more people to join my podcast.
Just leave him.
Green, can you add him? I think Green's just practicing a few swings before he starts the podcast. Green! I think he's just doing a few swings. I don't... doing the whole... Hello? Give him a few moments before I think he's just not realizing that we're on. Maybe next time I'm not gonna do this. Next time I'm not going. Can you guys try to get his attention too?
Green, are you there?
Kirk.
Give me a second.
I think he's preoccupied.
I think he's just doing something really quick.
Hey. Kirk, we're ready! Okay. Either he doesn't know, I don't know what he's trying to do. We're ready!
Oh, he's ready. There he is.
Now he's...
Well, sorry for that, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
Oh, no worries. There's the old saying, nothing ever goes to plan, as the old saying goes.
I see.
Green!
Oh, these things happen.
Can you guys add him as well, just so he gets the message?
Sure.
Green!
Oh, wait. He's coming over.
Oh, come on! Green! I think we're going to spend the entire podcast trying to get his attention. Green!
All right. The first person the first one in their stream that gets his attention, he wins an Amazon gift card.
Make that two, apparently. I think he doesn't. I've added him twice now.
One sec.
And as you know, his person. Come on, we're ready. Am I visible to you guys? Can you see me literally with my face?
Yeah, visible. You're visible.
I think we're going to spend the entire podcast watching him do his sword. Come on, we're ready. Ah! I know I'm being hypocritical here. Green. Can you guys flash like a... Oh, God.
I think he's forgot. Wait, is it?
No! Green! Did I mute him or something? Is he deaf? Did I deafen him by accident?
No. No, he doesn't have his headphones in.
Green!
Permission to spam.
Permission
His
granted. Permission granted. Green, we're ready. Can you hear? Ah!
Oh, finally.
No, he's still muted. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry we seem to be having technical difficulties with Green because he doesn't seem to be answering. If he's... Oh, for the love of the old ones, please don't let this be the entire hour.
Come on, this has got to work.
Okay, stop hamming. You're muted! Huh? Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
Yeah.
finally.
Rejoin. Hello?
Can you hear us now?
No, I can't.
Nah, sorry, there was some issues.
Finally.
I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
we were busy. We were just here struggling to say your name, and you were just busy just swinging your sword.
Yeah. No, because I was like, wait a minute. Why am I getting notifications?
Yeah, I had to do that.
Yeah, I gave him permission. Anyway, now that our technical issues have been sufficiently sufficed, I am the old hunter, as you should know, since this is my podcast after all, but I also appreciate my friends. I'm the old hunter. I do reviews and whatnot on my... And Reddit reads. Oh, shit.
It's
Who's
like,
loading?
Sorry, you cut out for a second. Could you reintroduce yourself?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Trey Jones, I do suck on Titanfall.
Is everything all right?
Nah, it's just the internet during the summer times is just the worst in my country.
Mm-hmm.
Could you, do that one more time? Sorry, guys, for the bad internet.
this is a disaster.
Anyway, just to TLDR, Green does realistic martial arts based on the Soul series. Trooper does video game clips, if I'm correct. What are you doing?
It's like PvP.
PvP.
Sometimes talking.
PvP. And Dark is a voice actor. A very good one, mind you.
And I also make funny montage video clips and such.
Oh, so I'm also just for record, I'm also doing in one of his. I voiced Gwyn in his comic dub. I love that role. Pretty fun.
Very much, it very much is. And also Green also voiced Goth.
Goth.
That's pretty cool. So, welcome, guys, to the number 10 of my podcast. Reach the double digits at long last. So, I consider
Nice.
consider that a victory, in my opinion. Wouldn't you agree, guys?
Yeah, I very much would.
Well, some interesting news has happened. Some things interesting. Elden Ring. I saw in a news leak that Elden Ring might finally have a release date.
Oh, really?
When is that looking like?
I didn't read the article. I was so busy, and I only glanced at it, saying leaks confirm Elden Ring date of release. I didn't sadly check it out. It could have been fabricated, but there's always a possibility that it's been out.
Yeah.
One could hope for that. Wouldn't you agree, guys?
Yeah, very much do so. I just can't wait whenever Elden Ring does come out with a trailer.
It already with a second trailer, obviously. With actually some gameplay. But remember, there was that in-house development trailer where basically there was jumping in Elden Ring. Surprise, surprise.
Oh yeah.
A Souls-like with jumping mechanics.
We're finally learning how to jump. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Right.
Also, a quick little thing. Titanfall 2 is currently free on Steam and will be free till the 3rd of May. So if you haven't played the game, do quickly grab it.
Basically, PC players get it.
It's on Steam.
All right.
Hey, I got it because I like Titanfall 2, and so I'm getting it for my computer on the go.
How old is Titanfall 2?
I think it's at least 5.
Titanfall. Okay, let's see here. Titanfall 2, as in right now, is it was released on the 2016th on October 28th.
Wow.
Of what year?
2016.
2016. Dang, really?
Yeah.
I thought that was when Titanfall 1 was out.
Titanfall 1 came out the year before that, in 2015.
The year before, right?
Yes. And
What's that Titanfall?
And I still think Titanfall 2 is one of the best FPS shooters ever released. So the Nier Automata, the Nier Replicant. I know fans hate it when people say, "Oh, it's a Nier." It's not a remake. It's just re-releasing the original. They took the original, gave it a small coat of paint. Well, they updated everything, gave it a new coat of paint, and updated the battle mechanics. It's a remake, like the Demon Souls one. Though,
But is as good looking at the Demon Souls, though?
I know, but one could say that the game was originally made for the PS4, not the PS5. So,
Yeah.
Besides,
Personally, I was hoping with more content from the Demon Souls remake, but
I think
Archstone.
I think
Still crying.
I think for the last 4 podcasts, we've been talking about the whole Demon Souls debacle, what we like, what we don't like, and the things we absolutely detest, and the things we praise.
Pre-order bonuses still make me cry to this day.
It pains my heart that I didn't get the game when it first came out, so I couldn't play those weapons. I don't care the fact that they're bad for early. They're only meant for early games. If they should have just done Dark Souls. As much as I detest Dark Souls 2, it did its pre-orders decently fine.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
The pre-orders were there.
A full game I bought yesterday was Pillars of Eternity, and that was a full game.
Funny enough, a friend told me that Pillars of Eternity was based on D&D.
Yeah, it is. It's a strategy RTS game.
I never could get into those,
That's
so
cool.
I don't. So my opinion on RTSs are basically, yeah.
Don't. I love RTSs. Okay, if you haven't played like the Lord of the Rings RTS games,
I don't play real-time strategies because I personally like to get taking control of myself instead of delegating it to the assistants.
To be fair, there are some RTS games that make you have like third-person or first-person modes, like with like a hero or something. So there's some games that are like that, but it's like pretty few in between.
Yeah. I hear they're fun, but they're only for the people who like to micromanage things. I'm a bit hit or miss on that one. I don't mind
Right.
Yeah, I got it on the PS4 and the Switch. So I got it on both of them.
I think it works better on the Switch since you got touch controls. So, hey, at least you don't have to fiddle with D-pads.
See, no, this is why you set shortcuts. Okay, one of the things I'll say about RTS games is that they're designed for you to make keyboard shortcuts for like everything. So you have to memorize your whole keyboard of shortcuts. It is a very intense. No, I'm not saying it's not. Like, if you just like playing on a controller or just like do something, RTS is definitely not for you. But if you like having like your whole keyboard being freaking quick command slot key type of thing, basically typing the whole S when you play RTS games at high levels.
I think that's why I don't like him so
And
much.
also use a typewriter.
I think that's why I don't like him so
Also,
much.
you got lore as well.
That's true. Who doesn't love lore?
Got him.
But I think that's the reason why I don't like RTSs so much, is because you got to memorize the whole. You got to like play a piano when you play those games, so it puts my fingers at a cross.
He's a keyist. Beethoven was the best keyboard player. He was the best keyist, and we will now play Sympathy of the Night in the D minor.
Don't! If you put that on, my podcast will be flagged for copyright.
No, I'm not actually going to put it on.
Thank you. I already have enough. I already had one problem when I tried to put my playthrough for Final Fantasy VII, and I got copyright. It got copyright claimed. Like,
okay, Square Enix.
Yeah, Square.
Okay, Square Enix.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be putting any of my Square Enix playthroughs on this my channel because I don't need the hassle.
I'm glad FromSoft's not like this. Imagine if FromSoft was like this. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
Anything, and then they got mad.
Oh, thank goodness
my channel would be destroyed.
Well, thank goodness they didn't take down my Sekiro videos or my Bloodborne ones.
Yeah,
FromSoft's too good for us sometimes.
It is. Yeah. They treat us. Hey,
it really is. They treat us like royalty. I'm so glad they do.
Sorry, Tripper, you wanted to say something? Trooper?
FromSoft are pretty cool when it comes to content and stuff. Because Miyazaki watches other creators.
That's cool.
I'm still mad. Miyazaki still doesn't believe that people can beat his games without getting hit, even though he can watch the whole thing. He'd be like, "I don't believe it happened." Like, but you watched it, sir. It didn't happen. I'm like, this man is so crazy.
Hey,
it didn't happen. You have video evidence that it didn't happen.
I have this little canon in my mind sometimes. It's like I want Hidetaka Miyazaki to work with another director like Yoko Taro from the Nier series. But I also like to imagine if he worked with Hideo Kojima for a few hot seconds.
Hideo Kojima?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, did you guys hear that the Silent Hill game may actually be happening?
Yes.
Oh.
Well.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Well, I don't think it'll have Kojima in the helm or El Del Toro in it.
I think it actually will, from what I'm hearing from it.
I thought Kojima didn't want anything to do with Konami after they tossed him under the bus.
I'm not very certain on what is going on, but what I do know is that it seems to be that Konami is confirming that there is going to be a Silent Hill game, and Kojima may actually be involved in it.
Well, then again, they did re-release the entire Castlevania series on. We lost Trooper.
Oh,
Trooper he dropped.
Can you guys let him know? I can't go off without minimizing the thing. So that's okay.
Sure.
Thank you. But I was going to say is that if you did look recently, they did re-release the entire Castlevania game series on PS4 and Switch. So I think... What? Right, it's true. They re-released the entire Castlevania collections for Switch and PS4.
Wow.
Neat.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I've only played a handful. I've only played 3 Castlevania games in all my time. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Castlevania Dracula X, and Castlevania Portrait of Ruins. I enjoyed them for what they were. Hey, welcome back.
Oh.
I was just letting you know, Trooper, that you know the Castlevania series?
Yeah.
They're getting the entire Castlevania collection's on Switch. Or on PS4.
I've already got it.
Oh, obviously you'd have. Well, it's kind of glad that Castlevania is now kind of back. At least they're doing something, right, by re-releasing the entire collection. It's kind of hard to mess up old games, isn't it, like Castlevania?
No, it's very easy to mess up old games.
And
really
I'm going to try to get my hands on the copy as well so I can play it. Because as much as the older Castlevania games weren't Metroidvania, it's interesting to see what they were like because I wasn't born during the NES time. So it'll be interesting to see what the generation that played those games be like. And let's hope they have a save feature because I am not going to be going through the game.
Oh no! You got to go. What was it the whole SNES? Whereas you had to put in a code to load where you were.
Oh yes. Hey, you know what I really wish that it was on my Vita. That there was a version from my PS Vita. I'd kill for that. Like imagine I could buy a little cartridge and just basically pop it in my PS Vita, and I could play Castlevania on the go. That'd be pretty cool.
Castlevania is on Vita.
Yes, but I meant the collection, the Castlevania collection that we got. I played I played Symphony of the Night and Dracula X on this thing, which is still my favorite portable console, and it was better than Nintendo 3DS. Fight me on that.
I'm not afraid to say anything, because you're going on, and I have no idea what to say.
But I'm just trying to say is that I really wish the game was released on the Vita, so that way I could have had the entire series on my console to go. People are still developing games with this thing, so it's not completely dead. Sony still publish a few games on this. Sony may have abandoned it, but indie game developers love this thing.
Have any of the Souls games been ported to that?
Nope. As much as I'd like
Salt and Sanctuary has.
Salt and Sanctuary, yes, and I played it on Vita. It's a fun little Souls-like.
There's a few of us.
Though, think of it like a mix between Castlevania and Dark Souls.
2D, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. 2D Metroidvania with Souls-like combat, so it's a hit or miss, but it's mostly hits.
Speaking of 2D, I've got most of the games you mentioned on the Switch and also on the PS Vita. Yeah.
But no, oh my goodness. So you said something about the Elden Ring leak. Mm-hmm. Okay, what are the features that you want to see in Elden Ring? That's just what I want to ask.
Okay,
what features do you want to see?
We'll go one by one. So I'd like to see basically an evolution of the Souls combat.
Okay.
Dark?
I would actually like to see how the story will go and basically how everything will connect into the story. Because Dark Souls did that, and I expect Elden Ring to do that, especially since it's being working with George R.R. Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would like to see.
I'll probably say better network cult.
That we can agree on. And you, Green, Kirk, what would you like to see in the Elden Ring?
It's definitely very specific. I definitely like to see sort of this idea where bridging the real world martial arts with video game martial arts. So of course it's always me because it makes it more fun to be like, oh look. For example, Dark Souls 2, Sur Alan is pretty spot on with how you would use an Odachi. So I'm like, oh, can we have more stuff like that happening? I think that's why Sur Alan's so well loved. But it's I think taking some of the innovations made in Sekiro and the other Souls game and seeing how that amalgamation would look, I think it can be done pretty well. But also, I'm curious about this whole open world, how open world or how that's going to look, because I don't want it to be Skyrim.
I think your fears of being it's Skyrim is not to worry, because they did say it will be it'll be like a Souls but an open world. So it'll be a desolate wasteland, a world on the verge of collapsing and dying. It'll have remnants of villages and past people, but it won't.
So Fallout?
Maybe.
Which Dark Souls but bigger.
Is this was it Dark Souls 3 Gale's arena where you just go blub 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 blub?
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Yeah, it's just an ashen barren wasteland. It's just ash. There's just nothing but ash. And then you see Anakin going, I don't like ash. It's false and rock, and it gets everywhere.
Careful, I don't know if Anakin's name's trademarked.
Can you even trademark that?
Yes,
you shouldn't actually. You should not, because that's illegal.
It doesn't stop. Hey, there was a guy who copyright claimed the word edge.
Edge?
Well, I hate to tell you, but that guy is no longer with us.
Yeah, there was this guy who was so in Japan, Soul Calibur is called Soul Edge in Japan, right?
Uh-huh.
Because they were so afraid of the guy getting sued, they changed it from Edge to Calibur. Mirrors.
But isn't both swords in the game, though? There's a Soul Calibur and the Soul Edge.
No, the Titan. Go on, Dark.
Sorry. It's just, I just find this very, very, very hard to believe because, I mean, it's just with copyright stuff, there's just people who like abuse it so much. And like, we just like, I think people just forget fair use is also a thing.
I think most people. Oh, it was a good thing that he basically. You know when Mirror's Edge came out?
Yeah, he went for that.
Yes, he went for Mirror's Edge. He tried to sue EA for infringing on the copyright, but EA countersued, saying it was an abuse of copyright and unfair. The guy lost the case, and the guy's no longer in the video game industry. And guess where he's right now?
And where is he?
He's a priest.
Aha! You see, and I bet like the copyright thing from Soul Edge is like all taken care of now.
Nope, the games are still called Soul Calibur in the West.
Well, I mean, no. I meant, yeah, it is called Soul Calibur in the West, yeah, but it's just for like the terms of, I would say, I just don't know what to say. My point is that I'm glad he's,
out of the video game industry.
But
yeah,
but is it really in a good place? He's become a pastor, so he's basically extorting people for their money. I mean,
don't get into religion, my friend.
Yeah,
it's going to be a touchy subject.
I'm just saying. No, I'm not saying religion in general. I'm just saying with this guy, considering what he jumped to and what he's trying to do.
Okay,
the word of God says that whatever you say is copyrighted.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned with.
That's true, but who knows? He's out of the video game
God
industry.
is my right-hand man, and I dare you say that he says this word, and you give me money.
Okay, you're a little loud. Calm down.
Oh, sorry.
But yes, it's just funny. Yes, it was funny that he decided to quit being a game developer and move on to basically a priest. Moving on, and I don't want to deal with him anymore. I don't want to give him any bright ideas right now. In case he decides this. But yes.
He shouldn't.
How many times did we say it? How many times did we say Edge? He probably owe him like $5 each time we said it.
Okay, let's just spam it. Edge, 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 edge. He certainly has an edge over me, doesn't he? He's edging towards victory. It's certainly an edging. Isn't it? I couldn't think of a better put to read that one. Sorry. I'll stop. I was having too much fun. Anyway, let me think. What else? Any news on your ends for video games? I've been so busy that I haven't checked them lately. Oh!
Sadly. Oh.
Go on.
Nah, it's fine. You go ahead.
I was also going to mention about Mario. Did you hear about the new Mario Lego set?
Mario Lego set?
Oh, yeah, about that.
Yes. You see, Nintendo and Lego teamed up to make an entire Lego set where there was a Mario that actually can talk.
Like the Lego figurine can talk?
Yeah. Basically, it had an LCD, LEDs, and voice in its inside of it, so you could basically it can react to certain things. Now, yeah,
Lego, get with Miyazaki. Make Lego dark. Make that a game.
Make that a set. I like Dark Souls 3 as Legos. Yeah. Hopefully I can find a way of fire.
Let me think. Yes, there was this controversy because the little device can actually Nintendo can actually update the little device. So basically what happened was that they basically said, Luigi, where are you? Basically as a little bit of an announcement of there's going to be a Luigi block coming out soon.
You know, you have to be Luigi's Mansion. You can't just release Luigi. You have to release his mansion games, like a whole
3 of them.
That's how you can do it, Lego.
That's true. This has gotten a lot of controversy because this is just basically this. I don't want to get into it, but it's just basically about how they're basically. What's the word I'm looking for? They're basically trying to promote something before it's even out. So it's sort of like the Luigi figure wasn't out when the thing was updated. Then they officially announced it. So there's this controversy that Nintendo are basically sneakily advertising to kids again.
Oh. You know, parents are gonna go red eyes for that.
Yes. Well, make sure you.
No, did you not see the thing?
Yeah, I can see it. The problem with that. This is the sort I could see.
Like, have you not seen when people? Have you not seen when people like complain about like cereal boxes? You can't have colorful characters on cereal boxes. That's advertising for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can.
Well, our whole childhoods are basically advertised like Transformers, He-Man. When we were kids, those back then and even to this day, shows were basically advertisements for little kids. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Power Rangers. That was the biggest market. Come on. Personally,
yeah, I have a Power Ranger suit, man. Like the entire Red Ranger Mighty Morphin.
I swear, like my personal favorite was Dino Thunder.
Dino Thunder, agreed.
Dino Thunder is actually my second favorite.
Which is your first?
The original.
Mighty Morphin.
Same a lot the original as well.
Fair enough. Hey, I like Dino Thunder because, hey, dinosaurs were cool when I was a kid.
And also, Tommy was stomping everybody in a Dino Thunder.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It's just, when people like say that you like Mighty Morphin, people go, it's just like, I don't find like why it's like so taboo to actually like the original. Like, is it like just because it's old?
Not that.
I think what was it? Color coding. I think people are mad about that. I'm not going to go into too much detail.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Basically, the idea was that the Black Ranger was black and the Yellow Ranger was in a yellow costume.
Yes. I think it was just a coincidence. Okay, nothing.
No, I agree. I'm not arguing for it. I think that's why people like are hesitant of saying why they like the original.
Also, one fun little fact for those who didn't know: the Yellow Ranger in the Japanese version was actually a guy.
A guy, yeah,
a guy. Yeah.
Yes. Just in case no one knew here.
And his name was Boy. Did you actually know that?
Oh no, I did not know that.
Yeah, his name was actually Boy.
I think I hear Kratos saying that someone stole his tagline now.
Bro, Kratos gonna copyright strike everybody. You can't say boy.
Oh no, not Kratos. No, man, come on.
I think the payment will be my head being ripped off.
Yeah, he gets a knock on the door. Hey, this is Kratos.
Oh yes, don't anger the Kratos, otherwise.
Oh my goodness! No, another show that I think
copyright Disney. You're going to get a cease and desist.
I'm not. Look, what was the other one? I'm just thinking about all those like childhood shows that like made markets just selling to kids. Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, actually,
sorry to disappoint you, but you fell right into my trap card.
I was actually having a well, technically, that wasn't the case for the original because
not season 0. No, I'm not talking about season 0.
Oh, not even the manga because the manga. Okay, for those who have read them, here's the thing: the anime was a dumbed down version of the manga, which was also a dumbed down version of the original manga. For those who didn't know. Because
this is the down section.
Yes, because basically the original was very, very dark. Because you see, I keep forgetting what was the author's name? Takaha. Dark, could you look it up for a second?
Sure.
Thank you.
So
I was gonna say was that the author. Let me just wait for Dark.
Author of.
Yeah. Since Dark has a Kid Buu profile pic, I can say Dragon Ball too.
Well, Dragon Ball.
yes, I once maybe one of it.
Yeah.
I used to love Dragon Ball back in the day, but now I just prefer JoJo Bizarre's Adventures.
I still like Dragon Ball.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't like DBS, but I like DBZ still.
I think I'd argue it's just give it some time; it'll grow on you. Because, as I like to say, is that the DBZ wasn't the greatest show in the world. It was. We mostly see it as nostalgia, and if we do break it down,
well, I mean, it's not just nostalgia; it's like the whole entire story thing. And like DBS, like story is not even remotely close to being as good as DBZ. But there is a good section of DBS that hopefully comes to like anime. It's the Moro.
The Moro arc.
Oh, by the way, did you get the author's name?
Yes, it's Kazuki Takahashi.
I was right in the second half of the name. Kazuki Takahashi. As you already know, in history, the Egyptians were the oldest civilizations to play board games at the time. Some of the oldest games that were created were from the Egyptians. So Takahashi basically took inspiration for that and basically adapted it to manga form, hence why it's so Egyptian themed. The manga then further adapted in the proper Yu-Gi-Oh series, then went further, establishing that in the Duel Monsters universe Egyptian times, they basically used these monsters to play, but that came after the city of Atlantis first used these monsters. So blah blah blah, etc. So technically it was the Atlanteans that first found duel monsters. Then afterwards, the ancient Egyptians took some of their magic and used it to create the Duel Monster series.
Basically, everybody needs copyright on everything.
Yeah. And one question, is that going to be on the test?
Yes. Especially. Oh, it's also dark. Don't forget to name every single Egyptian god card and their support. That's for your bonus.
I'm not freaking Rayman on here, all right? Jesus.
Bruh. It hurt me when I was looking at professional Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel decks. And I'm like, hey, where are the Egyptian god cards? Feel like those are trashed here. Don't use them in the next. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, Exodia is also pretty trash too. What?
Don't make me call up my Blue Eyes White Dragon.
No, you get laughed at for bringing Blue Eyes decks.
Oh, I get laughed at because I play Ancient Gears. So I play basically casual decks. So I play Ancient Gears. Dark plays Blue Eyes, and Kirk, you playing the Egyptian gods. Trooper, you?
I never said I played Yu-Gi-Oh.
I don't play. I just watch.
I'm just there in the background, just eating popcorn and enjoying the amount of sweat lords that just try to. It's just they're it's so sweaty that they create pools of sweat.
Let me tell you how sweaty if you go to a con, right, and you find people playing Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Do you know what they do? They don't play the game. They play to find you breaking the rules. And then try to get you thrown out the game.
Yeah, it's basically find a guess what's wrong.
There's also the fact that they let's just be frank, they stink half of the time. I don't think most Yu-Gi-Oh players that go to locals even know the concept of a shower.
You talking about Smash players? You can lump those in that group too.
Oh yeah.
Last time I did several Smash tournaments, local tournaments. I was like, I'm gonna have fun. Walk to the building. Ooh.
I'm gonna have so much fun in this contest. What's that smell?
Your nose dying.
And then your nose shrivels in that one SpongeBob episode where Patrick got that nose and goes.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I can't. Look. I just look. One thing that I definitely am glad is that I'm glad Fortnite competitive didn't take off as well as I thought it was going to.
Oh, that would have been nightmarish.
I just imagine if Fortnite PvP actually became as big as.
Yeah, I would have started a riot in World War III.
I would have just complained that how could you let a game like
Fortnite
become competitive when Fortnite isn't even that. Can I say it's not that good?
Yeah, it's not that good.
Thank you.
Especially the fandom.
I tried playing Fortnite for 2 minutes. I tried playing Fortnite once. Was spawned in. I didn't know 2 minutes in. I didn't know what to do. Got shot and killed.
Oh no! I'll tell you what my first. So I got it on the first day, and after its release, I was busy. I'm in a match, and then I immediately get shot at, and then I spawn again. I go, okay, I'm going to do something. Bam, dead. So I go again. I'm like, okay, I'll try. Bam, dead. And I'm just dead.
Yeah.
At that point, I'd rather just be playing Dark Souls. At least at least it's more cathartic.
Yeah. At that point, I was like, thank you, Dark Souls.
Saying that, I was enjoying Fortnite, and then I just stopped playing it. Mainly because I preferred Dark Souls than Fortnite, to be fair.
Well, I was
Go on.
It's much
I wasn't
more
gonna like
original
just
and stuff.
quit. I was like, I'm determined to get over an obstacle.
I
So I'll
know.
say get one victory royale. Like I got like I used to play Fortnite for about a year. I got roughly like 50 wins. I wasn't too good, but this is what happens. I got that. It was really good in like the first season. Was like, okay, 50 wins, I'm good, right? Like, don't play, and then let's see how it goes in like season 8 or whatever. And then it's like, let me spot it, and then people like building like skyscrapers in like 2 seconds. I'm like, I mean,
Hey, let's also not forget that the Marvel crossover with Fortnite is technically canon.
to the Marvel universe.
Yep.
No.
The MCU.
That's not.
No.
Didn't they have John Wick in there like twice?
So technically, it's canon. I'm being serious.
Oh no, Marvel! What have you done?
I mean, have you not seen what they're doing to Thor? Oop, let me not.
Yes, I have.
No, do you know what's the funny thing about this? Is that, okay, people complaining about why do you not like this X Thor, right? And then you go to people who still worship the Norse gods and be like, that's offensive to us, but nobody cares what we have to say.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't like Chris Hemsworth Thor. I prefer like the actual Thor.
He's mythos.
The actual Norse god from Norse mythology.
That was also annoying that it's whenever video game developers always create games with those sorts of things. They always fall to either Norse or Greek mythology. They don't choose any other mythology. It's always Norse.
Yeah, they really don't.
Indie games sometimes branch out, but that's
sometimes. Yeah, indie games are always the exception. Like personally, I just wish like a company would have like I don't know an Egyptian one or maybe I would say. Well, actually, no. I think Japanese has gotten that at times.
Does Smite count?
Sekiro counts.
Sekiro counts.
Yeah.
I don't.
Does Smite count?
I don't count.
Smite is like everything.
Smite is everything. So I'd like a game that specifically follows one sort of
specifically.
Yeah. So like there's a game that's set with the ancient Egyptian mythos, or maybe Zoroastrian mythos, or something that's not blimmin' Greek or Norse. I get it.
Yeah. Is there a Wukong game coming out or something? I guess that's Chinese mythology then.
Chinese mythology is also kind of explored, mostly in China. So it's not ported much to the West, but unless you look for those weird Chinese games that are imported to the West, they use a lot of Chinese mythology. But if you're looking if you're looking for things, it's either it's like they're the exception. They're also the exception because they were basically created the cultures that they arise. So a Chinese developed game would create a Chinese game. A Japanese game would use Japanese culture, etc., etc. But I'm talking about like in the West specifically. So
in the West doing it.
The West, they always fall back to either Norse or Greek mythology. Always those two.
Does Ghost of Tsushima count? Because Ghost of Tsushima used Shintoism.
Yeah, it was created in actually America. So.
It was. It's one of those. Yeah. It's one of those rare odd abnormalities that break the mold. So yes, I would count it. But it's just like I would count it in. But it's just basically like in the vast majority of games that use mythology, it's always Greek and I said, you do get those odd ones that do pop up, but they're few and far between to even announce.
God of War had Egyptian god Easter eggs in the Vault of
Yeah, it did.
It's not too bad because if you look in history, the Greeks and the Egyptians did have some connections towards each other. So it's obvious that they would basically trade with one another, like goods and all that. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Well, I mean, yeah. Remember Julius Caesar and King Tut? They were around like...
They were bros.
Well,
they're broing out.
Actually, Julius Caesar was romantically involved with Cleopatra.
Cleopatra.
Tutankhamun was later in the timeline. So heck, there was even cases of that China and Rome knew each other in the past. They knew of each other, and heck, there've even been accounts of finding Roman coins all the way in Japan.
Well, they must have been having fun.
2D games and indie games. Konami have released an indie game as well. I think it's Japanese.
Konami's a Japanese-based company.
It's like Castlevania.
So it wouldn't count.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say it would be interesting that if a Japanese game did create a game in Norse mythology, it would be interesting. But then again, you'd find that in any anime. Or actually, scratch that. Scratch it. I think there are some games that use Norse mythology, but it's heavily animized. If you know what I mean.
What's that game? There's one that does use Norse mythology. I forgot what it was called, what about like the era was it Abrahamic religions like Devil May Cry? Can we count that?
Yes and no. Yes, it uses the Abrahamic religions, but it's still based in. It's still like a heavily Japanese view on the Abrahamic religions, if you know what I mean. So it's just like a Japanese view on them. If you get what I mean.
I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, this is actually a hard list to think about.
Yes, maybe if there was like a game that from a AAA, I wouldn't say Dark Souls Dark Souls is heavily Western fantasized. It's like it's basically like Tolkien. It's basically a standard fantasy game. Dark Souls. Dark Souls is that weird one where if I said this was a Western fantasy to someone who doesn't know anything the series, I guarantee you they'd actually buy it because the mechanics are similar to Western style RPGs than to East Japanese style RPGs.
To be fair, Lost Izalith is very heavily influenced by like South American culture.
I think it was Taiwanese culture. There was buildings like that were structured similar to a Lost Izalith. I think it was somewhere.
So it's more Taiwanese than
East Asian culture. It's more East Asian style than anything else. Then again, you could argue that the Anor Londo is kind of like Mount Olympics with the Greek gods.
Oh no. No, there was a Dark Souls 2 with all the different gods. So, like, we have the god of war. I'm like, wait a minute. We got the god of fest. I'm like, wait a minute. Time out Dark Souls 2. Go away with these. Go away with this.
Heck, the Romans had gods for everything. Did you know there was a god for cupboards and god for sewers? Ugh, that would be a stinky god.
What's it smell?
Yes.
What's that smell?
They had gods for literally everything. I'd hate to be that god.
Oh my goodness. You need one thing that we should invest in, like getting a soundboard and then like have the most memeiest Soulsborne lines like Gascoigne going, what's that smell?
What's that smell?
Maybe I could.
You'll be one of them. Sooner or later.
You'll be one of them. Sooner or later.
Actually, I always never mind. This is the issue of basically I just don't know whether go on.
That game I was on about, I put it on the chat.
Hang on, let me go check on my phone. Discord. Getsu Fumaden.
Other memeable lines.
Secrets are meant to be kept, like by William, like in like the DLC.
Oh, how about this one? How about Granta's eyes? Granta's eyes.
No. Oh my goodness. A soundboard of just freaking Nico Lash's moans. Oh!
Majestic! A hunter. Even
I wonder what was going through the mind of the voice actor that did Mikolash when he did that.
I'm just back.
I don't know. It kind of checks out. English people are fucking crazy.
And this is a Japanese style. Is this from a Western developer? Oh no, this was with Konami's. Oh, Konami still make video games. What a shock.
Konami still
in mobile games that no one else plays.
Does that count?
No, it doesn't.
No, mobile games don't count.
Oh, dog.
Huh?
No.
That's actually true. That is. The UK's pretty crazy. It's like Bloodborne.
Shoot.
Hey,
to be
so, what does that make me? A fortune teller?
Probably. Anyway,
what else was like so memeable? Hand it over. That thing. Your dark soul. Oh, my lady, sweetie.
That dark soul.
Speaking
my ladies.
Speaking of which, did you guys see on Twitter of the Ashes of the Fire Fades edition of the Dark Souls games? From the Japanese
yeah.
the Japanese and the American version? Well, the American version just has the Soul of Cinder. The Japanese has Gale and the painter in the cover art, but looks far better.
Oh, yeah.
I prefer the Soul of Cinder personally.
I kind of feel like that was more appropriate. Why is it?
I like them both.
True, but why is it that Japan always gets the best stuff?
Bias. I don't know.
I bet they do not. They just make a lot of really good stuff because the creators they actually give a shit about their products.
True, but like this is how I see the list go down with Japanese developers. At the top is Japan, below that's the States, and at the very bottom is Europe because trying to find.
I'll say Australia. Hold up, Australia should be below Europe considering they have bans on everything.
I could go into what they've recently banned, but I'll say that in a minute. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that it is so hard to find box copies of Japanese games in Europe. I literally have to go to whenever I have to order games specifically from Japan, I always have to go to the UK Amazon to get my stuff imported from here because, good luck finding it else here unless it's Germany, which is even more expensive than where I live. So I'm stuck between going to German. There's also the risk of the chance that the game is basically in German, so good luck on that. I don't speak a lick of German. Or I gotta go to the US.
You turn on the game, it goes, and you be like,
yeah. No, it's like that one World War II movie where that one scene of Hitler goes 99999.
And then I have then I have to worry about basically the whole imports from the UK to Europe because it's hell to get from there to here now. So I'm always stuck in between whether to get basically imports from Japanese games sometimes. It's really difficult.
It is definitely.
And before anybody says they're getting up to this point, oh, you could import from the US. Well, I have tariffs, and I can't afford to pay the additional taxes importing from the US to Europe. So,
Old Hunter is expensive here as well. Like, if you order something from the other side of the world and everything.
I know, but
because people could avoid it.
I know, but people would argue you could just import it from the US some of the times if you have trouble from UK or Japan, or UK or Germany. But the issue on my end is that if I have to import across from the Atlantic Ocean, I have to pay tariffs, then I have to pay taxes, and then there's also the compatibility issue because Europe uses PAL, while US don't.
Yeah, do the US was it the transfer.
Yes, and then the US uses another TV system that's not compatible with European, so it's the issue of basically the problem that the screen might not come out always the best. So that's why I have such a difficulty getting imports sometimes.
Hey, we got to pay China back somehow. You're in the US.
And moving back to the whole that they recently, a few months ago, said that anime figures were toxic to mental health.
Let me tell you why that's the case there, sir.
Go on.
Few things. One, oh my goodness, they're making it so that the ideal body is so far from reality, right? What woman actually looks like that? You can't have that happen. You're teaching men to prioritize the female's look over her brain and her ideals.
No, we're not.
Let me think. What else? Yeah, that's where I'm going to go with it.
Okay, so basically what I'm only hearing is excuses because the thing is we don't want an ugly character that's the main character in a video game.
Well, it depends on the video game because if I remember, if we played Dragon's Dogma, you can make a character look up just about anything.
To be fair, Dark Souls, you always start off as a beef jerky zombie, so no matter how beautiful you look.
Well, that's true, until you get... Well, Dark Souls 1, you also start... Dark Souls 2, you start off like that, but we're not going to talk about that one. The Dark Souls 3...
I just don't... I find this whole thing of abandoning like games and such just over the representation of characters, stupid.
I don't mind... I don't personally mind a little representation. It's just that don't prioritize that as your main focus of anything.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Even though I'm a black guy, I don't look at, like, for example, I love most of the Souls game characters. Just because they're not black doesn't mean you can't relate to them for their ideals and what they stand for.
Obviously.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Green.
It's always I always look at the characters more than anything else. The characters are the more important one. It doesn't matter whether their racial background is. It's just that if they're good characters and if they're relatable, it doesn't matter. It should characters should transcend racial lines and should be universal. Sure, there's some people that don't like the character, but that's fine. Don't like him because of his ideals or whatnot. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the thing is, whenever I go into game, I don't go, okay, where's the first black guy and where's the Mexican guy?
Where's the Mexican?
No one thinks that. And if you do, you got a problem.
But that's the thing, though. And this is what I try to tell people. When you're saying you need to have X, Y, and Z in your movie, then I'm saying, well, the one that make you the racist person because you're looking and judging a character based on whether they check a checkbox in your mind about how they look.
It's also kind of like, it's just kind of like arbitrary just to have that sort of situation of basically where...
It really is.
It is. It's just
He's too white. They're too white. You drew them too white.
Oh, they're too white. No one cares.
There was actually, speaking of that, there was actually this character that was from this recent anime. I'm looking it up right now on my Crunchyroll account.
You made that ghost too white. It's a ghost.
Oh, I haven't watched...
It's a tiny brown ghost. What do you want me to do?
By the way, watch Brand New Animal. Great show. I gave it a good positive review. I would have used the damn soundtrack if I wasn't so goddamn scared of getting copyright striked.
The Edgelord Priest guy.
Oh, sorry, Green. You were saying?
No, I was just saying the Edgelord Priest guy is ever in our minds a fear of copyright.
Look, I'm always on the edge because I don't want to have something that just basically ruins my channel. Yeah. Here it is. Don't toy with Miss Nagatoro. Alex,
who's that?
It's a new anime that come out that I'm going to plan on reviewing when I get the chance. So I won't spoil anything. But basically, the artist got a lot of backlash for basically drawing her too light-skinned. Because in the series, she's tanned, but the artist drew her with a lighter complexion.
Oh, come on. Oh, my God. Okay, I just don't know what to say.
Don't say anything, because otherwise they're going to have my head next.
Hey,
fantasy.
People can see in cell shades, I guess. I don't know. They'd be like the scale of like the contrast. They're like, the contrast should be at this line, but you are at this line.
I don't know. People just blew up because the artist decided to try something new. I don't know. The artist just... Anyway, moving along from this subject. Let's see. What else? Oh, there was this other new anime called I've Been Killing Slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level.
So basically this is like that dude that grinds the first level and then like gets jacked 999 and all the stats and then goes through the rest of the game.
I know, right?
You're not too far off from that. She's actually the strongest character in the series. It's not like a typical like Overlord or something, so don't worry, it's not like Overlord. She basically doesn't want to do anything. She just wants to, basically, before she became the witch, she was just an ordinary office worker, hinted what it is, and died at work.
Isekai.
Yep.
It's an isekai. She got hit by truck.
She died at work and then was reincarnated into a witch's body, where she just basically lived the 300 years as lazily as possible. She does like do medical plants and all that, but she does kill the occasional slimes just to do something. But most of all, she just wants to be left alone and not be the great adventurer to save the world. So it's not so much a power fantasy or anything. So as much as I like to say it's another blimmin' isekai, it's a little bit of fresh air like Re:Zero or Konosuba or basically Overlord, all those sorts of things. But it has the added bonuses that the character is overpowered, but she doesn't really want to do anything with that power. She just wants to laze about.
See, imagine if she was doing all that and she finds a Rimuru from Time I Got Reincarnated as Slime. This dude's a demon lord.
Oh, yeah.
She'd be like, I'll kill Slime. Be like, what'd you say?
I don't know how to do that. It'd be interesting because she's killed slimes for like 300 years.
Bruh, that's like, what was that? I know this one guy made a video about like how long it would take to get max level farming the hollows in like the first area in Dark Souls, and it was like 8 years or something like that. This lady pretty much 10 times that. To max level.
Well, when you have 300 years to spare, you kind of have a lot of things. You don't have much on your plate to do for 300 blimmin' years.
Yeah.
Oh man, when you said Konosuba, I'm sorry. I watched the movie a few months ago when that came out, and I'm still shocked to this day. And I was like, why do I feel something poking my butt? I was like, no, don't say because something is. I was like, laid on the ground and just cried. I was like, my boy.
Something poked my butt.
He
He was traumatized after that.
My man was like, what's poking my back?
I still haven't watched it, but I have two movies that I want to watch. The first being Konosuba, the Konosuba movie, and the second being the Demon Slayer movie. By the way, guys, if anybody's watching up to this point, I
watched it. I watched it Thursday.
I have done a review on both of those series, so give a watch. And this script, watch on my channel. Should be somewhere. But yes, was it good? Was it like all the hype?
Okay. My wife doesn't like. I'm not going to spoil anything. My wife thinks they could have done more. It basically had. Okay, I'm not going to spoil what the plot was. Basically, imagine like you're doing. Okay, your job is to defeat X, right? Mm. You defeat X, and then an extra stage boss just jumps on you and just wrecks you. It's basically that type of feeling.
Was it good? Was it bad? Was it mediocre? What was it?
I would say it's good. I liked it. My wife would probably say it's all right.
Was it whole grain? Was it whole grain or white bread?
I would say it's white bread, and I'm going to say it's white bread. It's like the cheap, fast process type of enjoyment, but it's not like wholesome.
For the record, guys, it was what that was. I didn't say anything. Kirk said that, so don't direct your hate towards me, please.
Yeah, come at me, please. I'll do a weapon review of Sangsu or something if I get enough hate or something.
Hey, maybe you should do some techniques on the maybe you could do some like shot idea. Maybe you could do like some movesets on the techniques of the series. Would that even be possible?
Yeah, I could do that. Because literally, Sangsu's he literally knows one thing. He literally just knows, he just goes. That's literally all he does. He does EI jutsu, and he literally doesn't do anything else.
I was actually one curious question that actually got in my head now. Okay, Kirk. How different is it from wielding a broadsword, a Western broadsword, to a Japanese katana? Is there any stance differences between the two, or can you somewhat reliably use some similar stances between them?
Hold on, let me pull out a broadsword right here.
I hope I'm
if you're referring to a broadsword as in terms of like you're referring more toward like a long sword, talking about like a rapier type of broadsword with a basket hilt. Like which one are you referring to?
The one you're using, like a standard broadsword, the one that most.
Like something like this?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, double-edged longsword.
Oh, I mean, the comparison works better for longsword, because longsword's more equivalent.
Okay, long swords, then.
If you're going to stay with longsword, believe it or not, so actually cross-train with people who study more so I can speak on it, but when I tell you this, would you be surprised if I told you there's like about 90% overlap in sort of like the general techniques that you would do?
I wouldn't be surprised at all because studying martial arts myself, and one of my teachers doing both judo and the boxing, there are some overlaps on some feet postures and stances. So I'm not surprised that there'd be some overlap between the two.
So the handles are about the same. So they're both two-handed weapons. Mm-hmm. The biggest difference is when it comes to like a katana. You probably know there is no
handguard.
There's the Suba is considered a handguard, but it's like circular versus. Well, it depends on the longsword because you can get some like my Zweihander, which like comes out and forms rings on the side right here. But the biggest difference, I would say, like overall, the stances are pretty similar. The mindset of using him is pretty similar. The only really difference is because the katana is a single-edged weapon. There are certain techniques that you can do with the longsword. So, for example, there are certain moves, right, where instead of throwing out the long edge, which is the one that you'll see, you can flip it over to hit somebody. So, outside of that, like I would say the biggest difference, I would say, if you're talking about stance-wise, is what I've noticed when it comes to like Odachi and like versus Greatsword. The stance is more wider when it comes to like the Japanese weapons versus Europeans, which like to keep more so upright. It's like comparing like think like ballroom dancing, sort of like keeping uptight and keeping upright, sort of like flowing with the movements, versus like sort of being like hunkered down low and then sweeping through somebody.
Okay.
But realistically, you can apply the techniques across both swords and you'd be still effective either way.
You know, if I could afford it, I'd try fencing for a little bit, but...
I would say start either longsword. I would say longsword, because here's the thing. What's the part that scares me, right? Is, okay, you know how in Dark Souls, ultra great swords are big, slow, meaty weapons, while daggers are fast, fast, type of thing?
A conventional thought of what the conventional ideas. I know that doesn't apply in real life.
In real life, no. People didn't go, in medieval times, in Renaissance, people didn't go with daggers. People literally just stab you in the back and be like, okay, you're dead. And
yeah, no one's that athletic back in the olden days. If you were that athletic, you'd be considered a god.
And also, what was it? Great swords? Yeah, believe it or not, be like, oh, great swords are slow, cumbersome weapons. No, great swords weighed like 5 to 10 pounds, and people blitzed you with those. Like, people think like, isn't dagger and curved swords the speed blitz weapon? No, ultra great swords were. People just be like, oh! And then just chop you to pieces.
I think it's this. I think you could also think Final Fantasy and a lot of like video games that have come to this misinterpretation, and media as well. But
see, I'll argue that Cloud actually uses his ultra greatsword how it's intended to use as a blitz weapon. It's just it's oversized.
I know.
If you put a normal sized ultra greatsword in Cloud's hand, like he speed blitz people with that. He's like, that's pretty.
Or give him a regular sword. He'd move twice.
I mean, if you look at the sword, it's just massive. Like, how would we be able to even wield that?
It's a chunk of iron.
You don't. Like, literally. Let me just show you a real ultra great sword in comparison.
Well, guys, we're having a special treat about swords today on my Discord, so...
Oh, a Zool and... a Zool wielder?
A Zweihander.
Look, so Cloud's, like, sword is, like, this big. Like, let me stand back a bit. Look how thin the blade is.
Wow. Honestly, I thought the Zweihander would be a bit bigger, but wow, I was completely wrong.
No, well, those are more... See, this is a real one. This is a size for actual combat. Some of the ones that were, like, for decorations and stuff, they would be, like, the size you'd see in Dark Souls.
Oh, okay. So they'd be bastard sword size, then.
Yeah, they would be around that size. Hold on, let me go get my largest ultra for a second, because that'll be more impressive.
Well, guys, it looks like...
Wow, his light just turned off. Man, he's going down into the basement.
I'm so sorry about this night, but I was just so curious, and this is the opportunity, and I think this will be great for my little channel. Oh, anybody who likes this sort of thing, do link down below to his channel and subscribe, because he does more of this stuff on his channel, and it's really fun to watch him practice with his swords. Honestly, I wish I had 1/10 of his skill.
I mean, yeah.
This is my largest great sword.
Some fatigue.
Woof! That was actually, I'd imagine me more. That's what I would imagine be like what a Zweihander would look like.
Well, like I said, this is more so
practical.
Let me see if I can actually, because I'm going to go outside and swing this and just show you just how hard it actually is to swing these.
I'd imagine.
If I actually can get the connection for it.
I tell you what, save that save that for your channel. We could do this another. I don't want to where we.
Hold up, I'm already outside.
You know, me and my big mouth sometimes. I really need to learn to just... I have a big mouth, and I really need to stop doing this sometimes.
Okay.
Oh?
Okay, there, relax. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, we're good.
Look, did that look heavy at all?
No, it
really did not. You really used the finesse on that. I really liked that.
Yes. That's the thing, though. Rapiers were strength weapons. Great swords were dexterity weapons, believe it or not.
I somehow believe you.
Yeah.
No, I can't. Look, I can only swing a rapier and thrust for like 2 minutes before I get tired. Great swords, I can swing this for about an hour and not be tired.
I guess Dark Souls got it. I guess Dex is king, but they got the swords wrong.
But they got the swords wrong. No. Like I said, Ultra Great Swords were blitzers. Like, you basically imagine, like, me doing that flourish, just charging somebody doing that. And then based on where they weren't defending, just either stab, slice. That's literally the game plan of an Ultra.
For as long
it's
as they don't...
basically the curved sword energy that you see in PvP.
For as long as they...
On an Ultra Great Sword.
For as long as they don't wear armor, let's not forget that in real life, swords don't cut through armor, guys.
Oh, no. See, that's why Ultras, believe it or not, Ultra Great Swords were designed to be like Warhammers too. So I didn't show you. I can hold this backwards and just essentially treat this like a polearm.
Oh, yes.
And just bash you in the head when you have armor.
I think the term is the death stroke or something.
Murder stroke.
Murder stroke.
You're right. That's what it's called.
Murder stroke. I saw from Skullagrim's channel about this. It was really like he's one of. You know him too?
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah,
I know him as well.
See, this is the thing I'll say about him. He's pretty popular. He said, okay, for example, I know when he said about Dark Souls, he said the rapier behind shield for us is the most realistic thing. Not going to argue with that. That's true. But he also talked badly about other things, but there's some things that are pretty good. Like the historic greatsword charge, even though it looks goofy, that's a half sorting technique where you essentially run and underneath someone's armor and impale them with an ultra like a lance. That's a real technique.
Yeah.
Then again, he did say he was not a master of the swords. He's just like a.
He's more of an observer.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but if you want to try, like, here's the thing though. When it comes to him, he's mostly an observer. Like, for example, even though I don't study Japanese stuff. I train with people who do. He said the Kasari Gama wasn't all that good of a weapon, even though when you cross-train with people who use stuff like that, you can see how you... It's like, that's another thing, is that a lot of these weapons require finesse in a specific way in training with them. But if you don't know how the technique works or how to use them, I guess you might look at them and say, oh, it's just bad. I guess it's like same with Dark Souls, right? Oh, I don't understand the finesse of playing Dark Souls, so it's a bad game. Huh. Did I just use that analogy?
Yes, you just used that analogy, so yes.
Did I do that?
Anyway, as much as I'd love to continue, it's getting late, and I think this is a great time to end it. A great show from our my guest, Kirk. Thank you so much for doing such an excellent demonstration on my channel. I think of this as
one more. I got you.
That's why I say go check his YouTube channel down below. Anyway, I normally do this dark. Anyway, thank you for those who are watching and up to this point who decided to watch the whole thing. I appreciate it. Link to my Discord is down below. Patreon as well, and my Twitter if you wish to follow me on Twitter because I do post regularly. I appreciate that. Any final words, guys?
No, I just wish we can be more consistent with this because I feel like if we get like a lot of small people and make it big, I feel like we can do something with this.
I know, but it's the problem that I also have to work. I have a lot of business. I have been so busy with school and everything that my podcast is like I've been so busy that I keep forgetting to do the podcast. I'm trying to do it more consistently, but it's so difficult with my education. Perhaps during the summer when I have more free time, it'll be easier. But anyway, Dark, Trooper, any final thoughts before I stop the stream?
Did I do a good job?
You did fine.
It's been fun.
I mean, I'm just here, like trying not to be loud or anything. I'm just like trying to be very quiet, or like here, just like.
I'll be honest. I'll apologize. I kind of did bring Dark into that because can be loud and rambunctious too. So.
No worries. And
no, you're fine.
Trooper, any final words?
I've enjoyed it. It's been really good having Dark on.
I appreciate it. I will try to get more people on this. If you can guys get more people, and I could try scheduling it for we got to plan these out. So if you guys give me a name, and I will see if I could try to get it on for the server. You cool with that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But you gotta send them. I think the best way to do it is that you send them a link to my server. That way, I can add them onto the chat.
Yeah, sounds good.
I know it sounds like, hey, more free advertisement. They can leave afterwards, or they can leave the server, so that way I don't mind. I just need them because I just need to add them onto the chat, and others. So anyway, besides that, I appreciate it all. Thanks for joining my podcast. It's been always fun talking about local game things and everything like that because it's always fun. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good day, and may the good blood guide your way and everything.
Mbasa.
You too.
See you guys.
Mbasa.
No, see ya.